sex education taught in schools? Did you know that only 12% of teens who take abstinence vows actually keep them? Whether or not schools should teach safe sex education has been such a hot topic in this generation, and honestly, talking about sex is going to be a touchy subject with anyone. I believe that schools shouldn't teach safe sex as early as 6th grade and annually throughout middle school and high school because it hasn't worked in the past. It's only making students more interested in actually participating in it, and it's only teaching students how to prevent getting pregnant. According to Vari Drennan, the 2,080 participants in 13 schools, male and female, who received the program compared with the 2,125 students who did not. There has been no major difference, saying that if you participate in a sex education course, it's going to help you prevent teen pregnancy rather than if you do not take the course at all. This chart says that as of 2004, 59% of teen pregnancies have given birth, 14% of them have miscarried, and 27% of them have had an abortion. Diseases are the main talk in sex education courses. HIV, AIDS, STDs, sexually transmitted diseases in general have been such a hot topic because that's something that you can carry on with you for the rest of your life. In 1994, 417 new AIDS were diagnosed among 13 and 19-year-olds, and 2,684 new AIDS disease diagnosed between 20 and 24 years old. Sex education also said that knowledge alone is not enough to change your behavior. I fully agree with that statement because you could know all the precautions of having sex, which is birth control or using a condom, or you could know that if you don't use protection, you could get AIDS or a sexually transmitted disease. But if you don't feel like those are important to you and you still want to participate in sex activity, that's not going to change your behavior. You're going to do at the end of the day what you ultimately want to do. I also believe that students should not be participating in sex education classes in school because it's only making me more interested in actually participating in it. In high school, students are already sexually active. That age range is like 15 to 19 years old when students are already participating or know about sex. Why are you making high school students sit in a 45-minute class period to talk about sex when they honestly could care less about what you're talking about because they already know about it or they're already participating in it? And as early as 6th grade, that just seems a little early. 6th graders are going through puberty. They have raging hormones. They don't even know what sex is. And you're introducing a topic to them that maybe their parents don't want them to be introduced to at such a young age. I just feel like that's not right with raging hormones, why you should introduce a kid to sex. Peer pressure is real. Teen Mom and 16 and Pregnant, which is portrayed all over social media and TV, is supposed to show students that this is what can happen if you end up 16 and pregnant. But honestly, to me, it's not really preventing it's not really preventing students from not getting pregnant. It's just showing them like, look, I did it. Like, you can do it. It just, to me, it's not really preventing the teen pregnancy. Sex education courses are just teaching the dangers. According to Lessons in Sex, schools are failing to provide the sex and health education needed to equip young people for adulthood. You aren't really teaching what can happen to you if you don't participate in sex. Most people that drop out of high school have gotten pregnant and they have their whole life ahead of them that they just had to put on the sidelines for a baby. Keenan O'Hale, who was a 16-year-old girl raised in Africa, quoted that no one ever told her about the dangers of having sex. And she knew the precautions of it, but she didn't understand how it could affect her whole future. People believe that the only way to have safe sex is to be 100% abstinence, and I feel like that is wrong. There are many other ways that you can go about having safe sex, and if you don't believe that you should save yourself for marriage, but you understand all the other precautions of having safe sex, then why are schools preaching like you have to be pure, you have to save yourself for marriage, and all the stuff that like Christian religions would practice? Parents should be the teachers. According to Mike Castleman, when parents discuss it, teens delay it. Why should school boards have the right to say when students should be introduced to sex as early as 6th grade? What if their parents don't want them to be introduced to that early, or they don't like how they are being taught? Parents have different morals, and I feel like the way that you are introduced to sex is dependent on the way your parents would like to raise you, and it's much more comforting to talk to your parents about sex than to talk to an adult that doesn't really know you. Mike Castleman also believes that the more teens that use condoms are ones that are taught that by their parents rather than teachers. Teen pregnancy is always going to be a topic discussed among this generation and future generations to come, but I feel like schools shouldn't be wasting their money or their time on sex education courses when it hasn't worked in the past. It's only making students more interested in doing it, and it's only teaching you to prevent sex.